kimchi.
Good.
I like kimchi a whole lot.
Yeah, Reagan likes kimchi.
She does these homemade dumplings, man. Our mom showed her how to make these dumplings, dude. She does these homemade dumplings that are really good. But that's really it when it comes to Korean food. Because especially because she had it a whole damn life. She doesn't like you should have seen when we first got together, where it's
That's
like,
enough.
hey, could you make me some blah 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 blah? She'd be like, could you make me some collard green? Like she did, she's like, she wants to eat
some
soul
greens.
food. Now she's like, I've heard stories.
Yeah.
So
Jermaine, the sensitivity is high on your microphone, man. It sounds like Darth Vader.
About that.
It's better. Yeah.
How y'all doing this week, fellas?
Good. Man. Blessed, man. Blessed.
That's right.
Feeling good, man. Look,
Yeah.
hey, a lot of your pre-pod talk, man, I'm like, man, just say for the pod. Look, that's
I guess it's subject matter. It's a subject matter, I guess, man. Yeah, it's life be
Save
like
for the
that,
pod,
bro.
man. Save for the pod. No, it's cool. No, it's good to see y'all, man. How y'all feeling? We're officially live now. We're out here in the world.
That I love that.
How you feel about it, Jerry?
Yeah. So
you don't even think about it. I was like, you don't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that it was out there. I think I saw like maybe you posted it on Facebook. I sent it to Sam. I think she might have sent it to a couple folks. But hey, ready for what comes from it.
Yeah. No, it was good. I didn't.
It was just a busy week. Like last week was such a busy week. We were at there's a Black History Museum.
The museum, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
In Dallas, yeah, we did that Thursday.
How was that?
It was cool, man. It's not a big, huge one. It's over there in Fair Park, outside the Cotton Bowl. And it's just like different artifacts from the area. But, it was kind of cool. It's probably like a 1 hour, 1.5 hour tour exhibit kind of thing. The docent was real cool. But we had maybe, I'd say about 50 people show up, I guess, to that one. And we're getting just more traction, going live on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. So that's getting going. But what's wild is just the outreach that has come from it. And so Sam and I were just kind of digging through a lot of that earlier today. It's a little bit overwhelming. Kind of like, like if you got a product or something you're selling and then you go on Shark Tank and all of a sudden, you got like a nationwide commercial and you got, thousands and thousands of orders to fill and stuff. And you're like, okay, well, wait, let's just take a breath here and kind of figure out how we want to approach all this and manage all of it. And because it's quite a bit more than what we initially set out to do, build, and create. So it's somewhat of a good problem to have. We've just got to kind of manage it.
Yeah,
like, for example,
I suppose. But
yeah, because that anime club that I was telling you about, we had two of them.
Yeah, I saw you, dude. I've been looking, dog. I'm like, bro, we might have to take a trip one of those days. Just come dressed up, just come cosplay with y'all for a little weekend, man.
Bring it, man. I should show you Julian's. His name was Lucius Scythe. And he came up with his origin story, his background, powers, weaknesses, just all kinds of different things.
Now, real quick, this is the anime club under the co-op tribe, right?
Yeah.
The Black Homeschoolers co-op.
Yeah. Someone posted a video to Kendrick Lamar is just like black. But check that out.
It's important, man. Hey, we wanna
right, it's
put it out there, man.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
It's so good to see that.
So it went good though, right? The
Mhm.
first,
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. It went well. It went well. Yeah, the first one went real well. I think, it's just showing all those different facets of, Black America, Black culture, who you can be, who you want to be. It wasn't always like that. And so being able to embrace all parts of who you are and what you like and what you're a fan of and what you're passionate about, especially when it's something creative like that, and now you should see them, man. They're all on like their tablets drawing, learning how to draw in different animation styles.
Y'all seen the bookshop? Dude, I'm super invested in your anime club, bro. Scouring every inch of the pit. I'm like, oh, I gotta see what they did. That's super exciting, man. That's really cool,
Yeah.
man. I'm
hey,
really
it's just
proud
time
of
to
that.
move, Joe.
Yeah.
Come on, move, Joe.
Dude, everything
Come
is
on.
like pointing to detail, and I'm just like,
Where is it? Where is it? Like North Dallas? Is it? Because my
it's
brother was
downtown.
asking about it. It's downtown.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's downtown.
So it's IBM right now? You're under IBM, but you're still kind of under that soft layer unit?
Nah,
Or you just straight IBM?
yeah, it's funny. I'm not gonna say that. And I was put under IBM, I think, as it was a bit underhanded how I got there, but it actually was the greatest thing that happened for me. Because as soon as IBM bought SoftLayer, me and 4 other people got thrown to the IBM side of things. And that's where everything kind of changed up. Because I was just kind of a server jockey, bro. I knew some, Linux, but it was just server side stuff, dude. OS stuff, which is, well, there could be a million things wrong, but that's okay. It's only a million things. And so it's and those million things have been mapped out it's easy to troubleshoot, man. But when we start doing platform stuff, when I moved over to IBM, it's like, oh yeah, there's a million things wrong, but there's a billion causes, and you need to figure out, and it turned into, woo. But then here's what's crazy. So then, containerize, right? You're like, okay, well, we just use containers. That's brilliant, because now you don't really got to troubleshoot what went wrong. It was working. You put your stuff on there and it broke it. Your stuff's wrong. And so that's kind of the point. It's like you have a working version of it. Just clone that container, boom, and you're good. But it's hard for people to get out of the mindset of troubleshooting my broken thing. So now we've got 70 containers running. And it's like, well, just blast one away and replace it. Like, well, no, figure out what's wrong. And it's like, no, that's the point of this. Like, we don't. Let me tell you what's wrong. You broke it. We gave it to you working. We know what's wrong already. So fix that before you it's just so that part is a little bit frustrating, that we've got this beautiful technology, but our brains haven't caught up with how it needs to be utilized.
Yep.
And so it's almost like we're going backwards. It's very strange, but it does keep me employed. So, double-edged sword there. But yeah, dude, I do think I want to make a trip. Just make a trip down there, hang with y'all. But definitely that club would be nice, man. 'Cause a few years back, we actually had a anime tabletop that we started, and that was pretty fun. It didn't last too long, maybe like 3 or 4 months. People got busy, but it was pretty fun, man. So it might be an idea that y'all could do, especially since you're already creating characters, man. You transfer that to a character sheet. Y'all got you, get you a good DM, and
I hear you. I
some
hear you.
really fun scenarios, and but yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, they're working on it, working on world building, working on other supportive characters, things like that. I think they had like hero, anti-hero, villain discussion last time is what it was. And I think they were doing like story arcing. That'll be part of it. It's kind of so there is curriculum that is part of it. So yes, there's obviously the fun part of it, but there's nothing we do that doesn't have any type of, educational curriculum that's a part of it. And so, yeah, they're getting a lot of creative, output and expression through it. So even the people that are building these costumes, that's a creative outlet for them, which is real cool, especially to see my son do his. That was something I wasn't really expecting, because he was even made the little scar that was going down like his eye. A
Yeah,
scar.
man.
He 3D printed these dragons, and he had a dragon on each shoulder and a dragon on his scepter. Yeah, it was like carrying like a scepter and had like a dragon on.
Spray painted black.
Yeah, he spray painted
Black
black.
dragon.
It's like, dude, okay, man,
I'm
okay.
telling you, this
But
medium
it's
gives
cool.
so much creative freedom, man. I'm
Yeah,
the
they're
types
doing
of
it, telling
heroes'
stories
journeys,
and
the type of
stuff.
storytelling. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the lessons that are in these anime are so pivotal. It's the same lessons I'm trying to teach my son. It's the same lessons I'm teaching myself. I mean, they really do a great job of all of that. And like you said, the ability to express yourself in the most whatever way you want. There's no limit there. That's what I love about. There's no limit to a character's anything in when you're in that space, man. I mean, I know y'all remember when it wasn't cool to like this sort of stuff, man. And it's super cool to see that come full circle to where now, you know, it's used as a means to educate and express love for
Yeah.
the game, man. That's awesome.
Bro, the Comic-Con scene, man, like the convention, just dude, that's a whole thing. Like, and has blown up for the last what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, man. We go to Comic Palooza when it comes down here. It's just it's great. And the communities are really fun. As y'all know, any fan community is really fun when you're in it, man, most of the time, you know. And so it's always good to get with like-minded individuals. That's the point of the tribe. That's the point of everything that we're doing actually is when we get like-minded individuals together, man, it's hard to stop progress. It's hard to stop betterment, you know, in those sort of environments, man. So we want to definitely breed that wherever we go.
It's
And
building
whatever we
connection
do.
too. Like it's so much connection that's happening, and then ways in which you just wouldn't think, and it's ways in which you know is inevitable, and so you're best to put yourselves in those situations where it can happen. Like for example, I was talking to one of the dads, and he had just purchased a telescope. And he was all excited about it. It was while we were at the museum, and he told me about it the entire time. So the entire time that we were at the museum, he's talking about this telescope, but he's excited about it. So I'm listening. I saw maybe half of one of the exhibits at the museum. But I could feel his passion. I was like, man, yeah, I remember when my uncle gave me his telescope. He had bought it, he and his wife, and they were getting into astronomy.
Shout out to the uncles.
Yeah, shout out to the uncle, man. Ooh, where this one is going. So, yeah, my uncle and his wife were getting into like, you know, hobbies they could do together as a couple, and astronomy was one of them. And so they bought a 8-inch Dobsonian telescope, and it sits about 4 feet high. I got it right there in the corner of the room, and it's a big one. But it's an older one though. It's a manual one, so you got to learn all the measurements. You got to learn, you know, where stuff is in the sky and everything, and learn how to use it, the lenses and stuff like that. But the dad, he got a newer, like electronic one, so it just hooks up to your phone. Do GPS points right
And
to
just-
whatever you want to look at. Yeah, easy. I'm sitting here like doing these minute measurements because 1 millimeter here on Earth is like thousands of light years in the sky. So every time I budget, it moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Don't bump it, dude, as you
don't
walk
bump
around.
it.
No.
It took me half an hour to find this star.
You in the next galaxy.
Yeah, so he's telling me about this telescope, and I was like, hey man, you know what? I'm interested in that too. I was like, I got a telescope, and we've gone out here to the lake that's right around the corner from the house, where there's no light pollution and stuff. And I said, let's try to get the kids out, because I'm sure most of them haven't seen, you know, the moon up close, let alone, you know, like Jupiter or Saturn or something like that.
Hey, shout out my favorite planet.
Yeah, right on, man. And so this one that I've got, you can see the good moon in good sight. You can see Jupiter, probably like 3 or 4 of its largest moons. But there's a planetary alignment that's coming up, like I think I know the next however many months. I think it's probably 3 or so. So we're trying to schedule that. But there are all these little things that are coming up that when I'm meeting these people that they're interested in or passionate about, or just something that they're checking out for a little bit of time, that adds a little bit of seasoning on what you're doing in life. And not only that, you can then expose the kids to it. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, man, you already have a telescope. I got a telescope. It's nothing to just meet up at the park.
Yeah.
Um, it'll be getting darker later coming up after the solstice, after the equinox. So we'll have to figure something out from a timing perspective. But yeah, man, like it's nothing to do. And then you go out there and kids' minds are blown when they look in the lens of a telescope and see the moon right in their face
Right
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Right there. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Or
Not
Saturn.
on a computer screen.
Not on a computer
Not
screen.
not a cell
It opens
phone.
up something inside of you no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah. We're just trying to expose them. I just say, okay, well, here's something, and it's cool to be interested in it, and it's cool to think it's cool. And if
Yeah.
you want to jump into something that's, so yeah, we're getting the little astronomy club going. So we got anime club going.
I can't be there every weekend now. Goddamn. Come
Look,
on
We're getting
now.
the astronomy
Hey,
club going.
it's time to just move, man. It's
It
time to
is,
just move.
dude. It is. I remember how excited I was when I got mine. I was calling Jenna like, hey, I got my, what do I do? All this. It was crazy
Yeah,
to be
man.
out there. Kids like, hey, can the people on the moon see us? And
Right.
I'm like, there's no people on the moon. He's like, how do you know? I was like, I don't have a good
you're
answer for
right.
you, dog. I ain't never been there.
Yeah.
We looking.
Yeah,
we
I'm
looking. We
like,
could see them here if they were there, you
I
know.
guess they cool. That's nice though. Yeah, you're right. It don't take nothing to.
Yeah.
And like you said, it opens up
Huh?
a universe, literally, right?
Yeah.
To
And to
their
see their
minds.
eyes widen up.
Yeah, because it changes the way they think. It changes their perspective on what all of this is and how big something can be. How it changes the way they think, which is powerful, man.
See, you going down that way, but what even came to mind was for me whenever you were telling that story was how your uncle and your aunt did it together. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like I think about that. Like one of my sort of goals is to not goals, but one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to see the Milky Way. Like without all light pollution, you can see the Milky Way in at a certain time of the night. That's one of my things I want to do. But like, when I think of it, I always think about, going with the missus, going up there, or I don't know. But like actually going to see the cosmic space
Big
makes
Bend,
you
man.
sort of
Yeah.
it helps you understand like this is literally just a spaceship that's just floating through the galaxy.
Rock.
Hey,
Yeah.
like you said, move a millimeter and you've
That's
missed our
right.
planet.
That's right.
Even when I go out to I went out to the Acadia National Park a few years back, just seeing those amount of stars without the light pollution there. I mean, I didn't even see the Milky Way, but I saw like more stars than I've seen ever. And you're just like, it makes you real. It gives you some perspective.
Yes, it does.
On the finiteness and the scope and size of you.
It makes me
man,
oh, my fault.
No, go ahead. Well,
what I was going to say is it makes me understand the perspective of ancient peoples when they were seeing that you can't help but believe in the almighty, something greater than yourself when that's what you see every night. When you know you're, I'm not going to say insignificant, but when you know there is so much more than whatever this is right here, well, that'll really do something to your mind, man. It really, but it makes me understand kind of how they, or maybe why they created such reverence for the heavens and for the stars and why everything rotates around that. It was so prominent in their lives. So
couldn't do nothing but.
Exactly. I mean,
every night.
Nightly, nightly, dude. You're seeing this.
Every night. You had no choice. There was no lights came down. When the fire went out, okay,
you're staring at the universe, bro.
And it's overwhelming sometimes to think of it, like just
all the time
on a clear area, clear sky, just all that coming at you. I think there's, everybody says go touch grass, touch grass. Two things we don't do enough: we don't touch enough grass, and we don't see enough cosmic skies. I think if we did that more often, touch a little more grass and look a little bit more into the stars, I think there would be so much less bullshit that people would
because you realize there's so much more on. It's so much more than our little petty shit, man.
That's true.
There's so much more out there. My beef with a dude at my job is nothing when I'm staring at the light from a gas giant that exploded 14 million years ago. Like what is I didn't like that Slack comment. Okay, that's enough of thinking about that. That's enough of thinking about that, man.
But on the opposite side, it makes you, hug your children a little bit tighter, embrace those small moments a little bit more, because you understand the seemingly infinite nature of the cosmic. This is but a vapor, but a breath, and that person, the verse in the Bible really means a lot more, but that we're just shadows and dust, right? We're just a breath. And sometimes when you don't focus on that and you understand that, and don't understand that this could just be over, not even just over, but like that, like it will be over faster than you want it to be,
and it could be wasted,
and that every moment you wake up, you need to fill that vapor up as much as you want to be the winter breath that you see. You don't want to be that little spittle that comes out when somebody sneezes. You want to be a whole loogie, bro.
Little spittle.
Spittle. That's my favorite word right there.
Dude, it's funny. Jared and I were talking before we started about this album I was listening to, this old Busta Rhymes album, and the song, his intro song, he has a line that says, "Get what's yours from out this motherfucker for your time run out, man." And he repeats it 3 times before he ends that song, man. And that's exactly what you're talking about, dude. You need to get it all, drink up every single drop, because we here for just a smidgen of time. Just a smidgen of time, man.
If you blink too hard, you're gonna miss.
Dude, here's the thing. You can do everything right, and it can all be gone, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact that we are aware of that, I think, does allow us to enjoy these moments, enjoy every moment, good and bad. Well, maybe not we, but people tend to not want to embrace the bad things in life too. But I learned so much more from my failures than I ever do from, getting it right the first time on talent or luck or whatever that may be. Because I like to learn about myself. I like to learn where my limits are so I can push past them. I need to know what I'm not good at. That's the reason why I always challenge myself with something that is uncomfortable.
If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough.
There you go. It's what we talked about, weeks back, man, where it's like I do that in every facet of my life except for my career, where I want it to be very conservative and not get too uncomfortable and just kind of lay low and do my job. And that's not getting me where I want to be. And so I've expanded that out to my career as well, so that I can take these chances, take these risks, and get ahead. I need to flourish.
Let me ask you, do you feel that you've limited yourself because you are the primary breadwinner and sole provider, or do you feel like it's more mental, as far as sort of a self-restraint to keep you from exploring?
I mean, a little from column A, a little from column B, as Grandpa Simpson used to say, man. I think it's all of that, man. I think, and probably even more factors, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, fear of, well, if I fuck up, who's going to take care of everything? It's always there, right? Where it's like, if I'm the only breadwinner, man, if I fuck this up, So, let me not make, because I'm sure we've all been there where it's like, I ain't gonna play that game, that corporate game. And then your ass sitting on the bench and you're like, just kidding. I'll actually play I'll be the cheerleader. I was only, and so that moment had to happen for me, right? Where it was like, well, what's more important? My pride, which is really just my ego manifesting as pride, fooling me into thinking it's pride, or my family's well-being. Which one do I care about more? Because I can be right. But okay, I used to ride my bike on Beltway 8, right? This lady was pulling out one day. I had the right of way, but I told her to go ahead. And she was like, "Oh, baby, you could have went. You had the right of way." I said, "Yeah, but I don't know if you're going to stop. What's the point of being right and dead? If you're being right, that means very little in these sort of situations." And I had to realize that also about being right about prideful situations where it's like, okay, you were right, but now you got a big ass target on your back. Nobody wants to, and it's like, oh, once I realized that, it allowed me to accept those hardships that I thought aren't fair. Yeah, they still aren't fair, but the door locked from the inside, baby. You ain't got to be here. So are you willing to deal with it? And so I'm sure there was a part of me that's like, well, I don't want to mess this up because it's hard to get a good paying job like this. It's hard, all of those factors. So I'm like, well, let me just chill. Let me not try to do too much. Let me not try to rock the boat. Because at that time when I was doing that, man, it got close enough to me being let go that I was like, maybe I need to chill a little bit. Like, that's what made me check my pride, not actually checking my pride. It was like, well, this might end poorly for me. Let me reevaluate this. But in that reevaluation is where is where I kind of learned you gotta play the corporate game if you want to get ahead, because they make the rules. And it's up to me if I want to play the game here, play the game somewhere else. I feel like there's always going to be a game no matter where I go. But
everywhere.
Yeah.
There's not a place you can go ever that there's not a game being played. Like, and I think that's, hey, also speak for yourself. I have always been a corporate minion. I am a dollar represented by a man. And I love the corporate
brother.
game.
Okay, yeah. That's
but you always but what, and I used to in my younger parts of my career, I was very much so similar to you as far as like, man, this ain't fair. But then when I realized that there's a game everywhere, period, full stop. There's a game at your job. There's a game at home. There's a game when you go to that grocery store and you trying to pick which line to go to, the self checkout or the whatever that line is with the cashiers. There's always a game. And so the key is not to not find a game or not have a game or not play the game. The key is to pick the game that you want to play under the rules and terms that you want to play. Hence why I've had so many different positions, probably just because, it's just like in chess, you pick the piece you want to be in life by ascribing the skills to yourself that you need and want to be successful. And then you put your piece on the chessboard, and then you are constrained by the rules of your skills, basically, right? So like, and that's why I preach so much to people saying, hey, dude, it's about your skills, it's about your mindset, it's about your perseverance. Those take you from a pawn to a rook to a bishop to a queen to a king, right? They move you up the stack of chess pieces to the point where, there's some people who are queens at this game where you move up, down. Only thing you can't do is that little L shape that the knight can do. But here's the thing: the knight can only do that little L shape, but that's the only thing it can do, forward and backward, and it's so special. But it's not the queen that can move all over the board. I think that at the end of the day, you build your skills to where you pick the piece you want to be on the board, and then from there, you pick the game. I mean, you in the game.
That's the thing. Yeah, I thought I couldn't. I thought I didn't have to play. That was definitely some naivete on my end. And
Mhm.
it cost me some time, but that's okay. That's okay because I think what I learned from it I can use obviously going forward. What I learned from it I can use to to better play the game. You know,
Mhm.
that's really all it's about. It's about just playing the game better and better at every level. And there's a portion of the game I neglected. And you know, I'm in training camp, baby. I'm trying to get that shit worked out so I can continue
Mhm.
to succeed. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, sometimes when you plateau, it doesn't feel that way. You know, I think I got stagnant and comfortable in my position, and it made me less ambitious, I think.
Mhm.
You know, that year turned into 5, turned into 10, you know, real quick. You know what I mean? And it's like, oof. You wake up one day and it's like the only reason I'm making moves now is because the company's also making moves. And it's like, oh, I guess I better do
Mhm.
something now. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
but like I said, I
And
still think it's been enough time and
there's probably like other aspects, like there's other aspects too that happen like in life. There was a pandemic that we went through. There was, like I said, there was hurricanes that came through. So there are things that happen that say, okay, well, I need to focus on stability in this area. I need to maintain stability in this area and maybe not jeopardize because everything else was
that's
kind of
true
like
too. Yeah, there's a lot of
going hectic.
factors.
Especially like
Yeah.
when you got young kids under 5 years old, stuff like that, you may not be pushing the gas too hard on that career piece. I like that game analogy. Chess always good as an analogy for life in general. I think one framework that's helped to see things in is also from a market perspective, especially in our society, in a consumer society, and just kind of how our economy is built, is seeing things as a market. There's always something for sale. There's always something to buy. There's
Yeah.
a necessity for transaction. Um, just like Jermaine was saying, the L-shaped knight, the one square move pawn, can be just as powerful at any different time, any different moment in the game as the queen, as the rook, or as any other piece, so on and so forth. So just like a market, markets change. And so your skill set in
Yep.
one market may have one value, but that skill set in another market may have exponentially more, or exponentially less,
Yep.
depending on
Yep.
where you are in the market that you're in. And so you might see something as, okay, well, I'm not getting ahead here, or maybe I haven't been as ambitious, so on and so forth. But as the market shifts and, as you upskill and stuff like that, that's one thing chess pieces can't really do is upskill. Um, but as
What?
you
You get that pawn
upskill
all the way
yourself,
across.
you
No,
know,
no,
okay.
that's wrong. The pip, you
Yeah.
take that pawn all the way over, it upskills.
Oh yeah,
I
you
mean,
take that, but that's the only one though. But I mean, like
it
you
has to.
can't.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing: it
it's got
has
to
to
make
make
it
the
all the way
journey.
to the other end. And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's something to that, man. As far as like
yeah, that's true.
you,
But
you,
from a
you, you
go
do
ahead.
as a pawn, you make it through the treacherous board. You
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
the end.
yeah. That might be a good. That's another analogy for another point we might be making right after this one. But yeah, just knowing the market that you're in and then upskilling, like Jermaine's saying, and you find yourself, position yourself appropriately, you got immensely more valuable than you initially thought.
Yeah. And value. That was another shortcoming of mine. I undervalued myself as well. That was a big problem. And I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not as confidently me in this stage as I am in every other stage of my life. The question you asked me earlier about why is it that I hold back? That's man, I'm going to be thinking about that for a little while because I too wonder that because I think that it is uncharacteristic of me to be this way, to be this timid about it. And I too wonder why I, am that way about this. It's a good question.
Mm,
Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
appreciate that vulnerability, man.
Yeah,
that
man.
one.
It's
Yeah, It's it's a question that a lot of people struggle with too. I mean, and that's not a. I was speaking to a lady from the Podfest a couple weeks back, and the whole reason why she started her podcast is kind of like what you were saying. She felt like she was holding herself back. Um, and you know, her podcast is actually shoot really thriving now. But she has a question for herself every year, and last year's question for herself was, "Why not me?" Like, why not me? Why not me be whatever? Why not me whatever? Anything that you see yourself holding you back from, just, you know, she simply started asking herself, like, why not me? And sometimes just the question, sometimes just having the question, you don't even have to have the answer, but having the question identified can help you, like you said, be like, well, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
that's.
who
I feel
held me
like that's
back?
exactly what happened just now. I was like, that is a very good question. That's a very
We
good
gonna have you
question,
in
man.
Dallas here. You know what?
Bro,
We're gonna be doing this in
this
person.
this
We're
is
gonna be doing this in
this
person
is all a
here.
psyop. This
It's
is
it's one
real,
big
dog.
psyop.
This is all just to get me into detail, bro.
We're
Go
gonna
check
have
the
to get
YouTube. Like, wait a minute,
the
that was a
podcast
fake.
studio.
Just a thumbnail. That's not even a. I do like the thumbnail for the last episode too. That was nice. But yeah, man, I think you're exactly right. I think that sometimes there are situations like you're talking about where I feel this is actually one of those where, like you said, identifying the question is much more important, at least at the start, than what the actual answer is. Because in the same way that I was avoiding whatever thing, I likely was avoiding that question, because that's the question that if I have the answer for, the excuses are gone, right? Like that's the question that if it gets answered, then it's like, well, then why aren't you doing X, Y, Z? And so if I just don't ask that question, I don't have to ever push myself in that direction. I think that there's a part of that. I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Or you have
part
the
of that, man.
reason. Or you have the
True,
reason.
true. But
Yeah.
the problem with me is I'll give excuses and then say the reasons, man. You know, it's easy for me to rationalize shit and start throwing excuses out for reasons because I can make them sound reasonable as hell. Okay, but in the back of my mind, I know I'm just using word magic to make it sound good. That's why I'd rather not go that route because I know me, man. I don't know. I'm
Well,
odd
hey,
sometimes.
it's okay, man. It's okay. Oh, by the way, the planetary alignment, February 28th,
There you go.
is 6 planets. You let me. We may have to let me know. I didn't know that was so close.
Do y'all have a
Do that.
favorite planet? Since we're touching on that a little bit, you know, astronomy is. I really enjoy that stuff out there, man. I do think that there's going to be a
Saturn.
new. Saturn's not bad. Jupiter is mine. Jupiter's my all time favorite. I love our big brother. He's awesome.
The savior of Earth.
Jupiter's awesome, man.
That's interesting. I can't say I've ever had a favorite. I mean, definitely just one to look at would be Saturn. I mean, just because it's so unique. But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever down the
Mars
thought
might get
path
some
of-
rings soon. Well, I say soon, but relatively soon. Phobos might crash into it. It'll break it up and get some nice rings. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man.
Phobos?
I think one of those silly moons out there. I was looking at some picture of like it was like a recently Olympus Mons, whatever the big ass volcano is on Mars. It was a cool shot. So it was facing us, and then I believe it was Phobos. But you know, one of those moons like went across it. It just was a really cool shot, you know, of the moon, or of that moon going across. But its orbit is like almost at, what do they call it? The Lagrange point? I don't want to try to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But
And swinging back.
yeah, so it might fall in. That'll be kind of cool. But so when 3i Atlas and all that stuff was going on, the most amazing thing that I found about that out there was the way the electromagnetic fields of these planets were all interacting with this object, and the sun as well, from distances that are fucking insane. And I'm like I feel like a new realm of science could be discovered with this, man, because I didn't know things interacted that way. I didn't realize that when these satellites, run through here, that, our sun starts just blasting off solar flares at the damn thing. It was so weird. It was like, what the fuck? What is this? We don't have objects come through often. So it's like, we don't see this. And I didn't know at all that there was any sort of connection with these magnetic fields in this way between, these planetary bodies and stuff, man. I found that so just crazy how everything is connected in that way over those distances, especially with something moving that fast too. Just anyway, it was really, that was really something, boy. That was really something.
You don't always think of it as, it's easy. Like, you think of it as just like an individual object that's moving through space, but it's being pushed and pulled.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Just the amount of gravity that's pushing it is the amount of gravity that's pulling it. And you got all kinds of celestial bodies.
And that's why it got weird, because it's like, well, hold on, because now it's doing this invisible outgassing and it's accelerating, and it's like, well, what is this, a new form of magnetism? We don't even know what this thing's comprised of. It's like, well, it's so crazy, man. Because when you think about the fabric of space-time, when you think about, like, talk about the way that it's kind of falling towards the sun, I guess, and then being pulled by each one of the planets as it passes by, and it's so strange how it's all connected. It's all some giant soup, and there's strings connecting everything. We just can't see it. And it's like, again, we don't perceive those interactions because we just can't see them, dude.
You know what, man? I always like to see, like, God and people. I don't want to say, well, God, but the universe always reflects in the macro, the micro, right? So as you're describing that, I just think about, like, the interactions we have with people every day. Everything from, the tribe, the Black Co-op, what we're doing here on UNCTALK, where we just connect, even just the connection points that we had where we started, where at Jared's wedding, where we all first met, and how it just all extrapolates out. And so just having, like, people always, I know it's a bit turned to the right, but people always debate on, like, what's the point of doing good? What's the point of even, what is it worth? But you don't understand that your one decision to do what's needed or what should be done, or, putting that person on the right path has so much of a ripple effect through time. You won't, there's no way to do the calculation to get back to the effect, even to just where we're at today. Like, us recording today was literally a seed from Jared's wedding.
Jared's wedding was our 3-eye atlas, baby. That's insane.
And even before that, Jared and Sam meeting.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how many quote unquote coincidences have to happen for this to happen?
Yes. Yeah. You can't, like you said, you can't go. It's kind of like how they say, you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but only God can count the number of apples in the seed. It's kind of like that. You can't go. You can't go.
Let those biblical verses cook, boy.
Yeah, you can't go back.
Yeah,
because
it's
like
impossible.
you said, so much has to happen and be in place.
Because, I mean, what are we talking? Because, no, and what about Redcliffe? But then it's like, well, no, what about the 70s or the 60s when our parents met? Well, what about the 40s? What about the slave ship? What about the, and it just...
Yeah.
What about the genome? And what about
right? Exactly. Because at some point we're talking about a shrew type creature that didn't get extinct when the dinosaur. And it's like, yep, this will be a podcast one day. It's like, what the fuck? Like, there's not even a way to, you know what I mean?
Be a podcast.
It'll be a podcast.
I'm telling you, dude. First multicellular organisms, like, UNCTALK. I can see it coming, baby. I'm splitting for UNCTALK, dog, just so this moment can happen.
TikTok posts now.
Why not? So somebody once said on this show, it was like, it's ever since mass expansion, Big Bang, whatever you want to call that, every particle has been unfolding the exact only way it can. Everything from that moment has just been this was inevitable. It was inevitable that this happened. Because
well, hold on now. I don't know if it was inevitable though. That's the thing, man. It's about choices. See, hey, we're about to get into deep.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, ooh, okay.
Yeah, because I have some thoughts on choice, on free will.
Well, I mean, this didn't have to, like, that's the thing. It didn't have to happen. You know, somebody
I would argue that it did.
Like, well, now we're getting into deep stuff here, but
yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, I think I believe there's there's momentum, and then there's momentum, and then there's action. And so, yeah, just because you're not making a decision doesn't mean decisions aren't being made, right? Or maybe you're not even conscious of the decisions. But when you are conscious to make the decision, that's why, like, when you're conscious to make the decision and take it into your hands to make the decision, you can't always define the outcomes, but you can put decisions in place to disproportionately create a certain outcome. Create a statistical outcome, right? It's like risk. Like me and Jared always talk about, you managing risk. And so your decisions improve the odds of the said decision you're trying to make happen. And so that's why they always tell you, don't reach for the stars. Just if you reach for the stars, you'll hit the moon. Just because you're making the decision to reach for the stars doesn't mean you'll hit the stars. But your decision to reach for the stars will ultimately help you achieve hitting the moon. And maybe that's enough. And so, you know, I think that typically whenever we get into these, because I know we can get into a long debate about, like,
philosophical debates, man, they're the best.
Is it free will? Is it destiny? Like, I know you anime guys love to be like,
this guy,
the destiny is written in the scroll of
so it is written,
the karma, so it is written. My sensei, like, I think
so
that
I honestly think you helped my case with what you just said, because I think what you're talking about is just information. And what I mean by that is this: if we're on a pool table, right, and we're hitting the cue ball, you racked it, boom, and the balls go everywhere, and it's random. But if you know the weight of the balls, if you know the type of friction that's going to be on that table, if you know the velocity of the first ball being hit, with enough information, you could tell me where every single one of those balls will go before you hit it. I think life is exactly that same way, but it is impossible to know all the information. You can gather as much information as you can, which is what you're talking about as far as planning and doing to set yourself up to be the best possible position to make this statistical outcome happen. But I would argue if you had all the information about your life, because like the decision for this to happen or for you to go ahead.
Hold on. One second. So we're agreeing and disagreeing at certain key points. So
I think I can agree with that.
It's not a pool table. It's a river. It's like the Mississippi. The Mississippi flows north to south, right? It flows from Canada all the way out to the Gulf of America now, or Gulf of America. But you can get on a speedboat and ride the Mississippi upriver. But if you turn that engine off, you will float down to the Gulf of America. And so I say that, yes, there is a momentum of life, I think, that will, and I think there's a term called entropy, right? Where life just, if left untended to, just breaks down, right? It's the house in the neighborhood that nobody lives in, that
it's the
over
heat
50
death of
years
the universe.
Becomes a dilapidated house, right? Nobody could even touch it, but it becomes, it entropies, is what I'm trying to say. And so the momentum of life, I believe, is darkness and negative. Like it's entropy, it's 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 just loss of energy. It's destructive. It is just if you lend yourself to the life of momentum, there is no building or growth. There's no, like, even the planetary systems, you know, the heat is everything's getting cooler and further apart and slowing down and speeding. Like life, the momentum of life is entropy. It's on a negative path, and it is up to us, or you know you know good people, to make the decision to bend the arc toward good. And in my opinion, I think that that is why you see a lot of the negative in the world right now. Like, not right now, but in general in life, right? We've been more, we've had less time of civilization than uncivilized, right? As humans, most of our history is uncivilized, killing each other and all sorts of things, right? This has been a very brief period of time where we've been peaceful, and even in the earth, right? The solar system is peaceful, right?
Right.
And so I think that it's even more so important to make those decisions for the good, to make those decisions for the building, to make the decisions of creation, because the opposite of that is destruction and entropy.
I'm gonna try to explain this because you're still helping my cause. You don't see it though, because okay, let's say your river analogy, right? In the river analogy, is free will the motor on the boat? Is that what free will is? And
Yes. Yeah.
and
Free will
the
is the
rushing of
mode.
the river is just the momentum of life you're talking about, right? The uncontrollable.
The destiny is juicy.
So I would argue still that what that is a lack of information, because if it was at all possible for you to know what every molecule of water, what everything was doing, you'd be able to navigate it perfectly. It's just that we can't know that information. So when it swishes, it seems random to us, the observer, because we don't have the information about what is going on there. Now, I don't think we can ever know that information. So it will always seem like I'm making the decision. But like, there is a way, if I knew everything about you and every experience, I could tell you why you picked that green shirt you're wearing today. There's a reason for it. You know what I mean?
Anyways,
I just don't have the information to figure out that reason. So it just looks like you're just wearing that shirt today. But there is 100% a reason that can be tracked through things that have happened in your life, decisions that happened today, color schemes that you saw that you thought looked good. There's a reason for it. And so while it looks like you made the choice was already made. You're following in the shadow of a decision that you have to make because of the momentum of your life, because of all of the things that your brain has interpreted that you're unconsciously even aware of, bro.
Let me make an even bigger point, as far as, I think that even to your point about the shirt. Yeah, there's as you're saying that, a lot of decisions, there are a lot of decisions to make this shirt here. Let's put it this way.
True. Okay. We'll leave it there. Okay.
Because this shirt could have easily been in the trash. So it was bending toward entropy.
I don't think it could have.
It was bending toward. Hey, if I tell you, yo, dude,
it couldn't have almost been there because it's right here.
This is a side note, but let me tell you, this shirt, the reason why I'm rocking the Bill Belichick right now, this is a hoodie that I've cut, right? The reason why I'm rocking the Bill Belichick is because I was starting the grill in my house, and I started it, and I was like, man, this thing ain't starting it. And then my lighter was lit, and then I opened it a little bit, and poof, and then like the fire kind of caught on my sleeve here, and because it's good cotton, it didn't burn me up. Anyway,
It's good God.
that's the side note to the story. Coming back to the original point, I just say this: I always look at principles and concepts in other disciplines that apply to, they could possibly apply to life, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that in physics, we may not know the individual points of, let's say, the water, right? We may not know each individual molecule, what it's doing, but we know that that molecule will cease to be able to maintain its bonds to be water and will separate into its three components. Eventually, it will freeze, refreeze, freeze, refreeze, so much so to the point where the bonds get weak and it loosens and it becomes hydrogen into two oxygens. And it will take somebody a force to create more water molecules in the system to keep even water together. And so you're right. You can't know all of the decisions. I mean, you can't know all of the variables in the massive equation of life. Not at all. But the end of the equation is zero.
You're not wrong there.
It's going towards zero, right?
Yeah.
Like in calculus, we have the you're going toward the infinite. Yeah, you're going toward zero.
Asymptote.
Ever more close. What's that?
It's an asymptote.
He was giving you the term. Yeah.
Asymptote.
So at the point of we know the destination, we know the bend of,
but it doesn't actually go to zero though. It goes infinitely closer to zero, but it never actually hits zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we know the direction is down and to the right. And until it eventually, well,
yeah, I'm not too sure
zero,
what.
Like you said.
I mean, you're both making points. I don't think you're both on the same plane. I think you both of your points are valid. I don't think you're on the same plane though.
Well,
from
here's where the end of
and
mine goes is this: if it looks like a duck, it can just be a duck. Meaning this, the illusion I'm talking about still feels like free will, so it's free will effectively, right? Like because I also don't know any of the information, right? This seemed like that seemed random, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, but like so when you're talking to, because if either of you haven't defined what you mean by free will, so if I say, Joseph, you have the free will to turn around and rip that picture off of the wall, you have the free will to do it. There's no decision that's profound to ponder the universe about. That's free will.
Yeah, I think action.
But I see what you're about. Yeah, but I see what you're saying as far as like you don't have all of the data points. So what looks random actually in the context of control is random. And so yeah, if I'm going down the river or going down the Mississippi or something like that, and a catfish flies up in whatever, is that a random thing? Yes, in the context of me doing what I'm doing, that is, my experience, that is random.
Right.
And so there are random things. So you could say a tornado dropping during a storm. Is that random? Well, in the context of a normal day, that's in the spirit. Yeah, it's random. But if you say, well, actually, the atmospheric pressure and
right,
blah 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 blah, and this isn't
random at all.
No, it's not random. But so to that point, yes, that's kind of the point Joseph's making. The point you're making, Jermaine, for entropy, or from an entropy standpoint of defining that and how that happens, I think that's a different point you were trying to make when you were trying to say that if intention and entropy happens usually more so in a closed system, but if there's continual inputs in that system, then entropy kind of breaks down.
Right.
But in a closed system, like say for example your own mind,
right?
If you're not stimulating, if you're not growing, you're not reading, you're not learning new things, you're not making new connections, you're not, your mind's becoming rigid and calcified. There's no neuroplasticity. Yeah, that can lead to entropy. because there's nothing new coming in. You're not feeding your brain or your body or whatever else. I don't think necessarily there's entropy on Earth, because as we know it, at least now, Earth for the most part is a closed system, unless something comes in and, we get an asteroid or something and messes it all up. But, the amount of water we have on Earth now is the same amount of water we've always had. It just evaporates and goes, evaporates and goes. But it's a closed system. So like you said, that house that was built is an unnatural thing on Earth. So entropy essentially just restores it back to its original state. We cut down the tree, we made planks, we did this, and we built the house. And then entropy sets in and it goes right back into the cycle of whatever the hell it is. And so I think the point you were making is both of you may be making valid points, but I think you just weren't. I think Jermaine was talking about something different, and Joseph, you were talking about something different.
Yeah, they're valid
too.
points to a separate goal.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. We weren't arguing the same.
You're arguing something around free will. Jermaine was mostly arguing something around, because you started to say something about doing good versus bad or evil kind of thing. That's kind of what precipitated the conversation. And then you went into the
decision making about and how that,
because there's random events, there's intended consequences, there's unintended consequences, there's just all kinds of stuff that happens that, like you said, because of our limitedness, like for example, if we could see wind, a lot of stuff wouldn't look so random. If you could see air molecules, you go, oh yeah, I can see how that would have fallen over. Oh yeah, I can see how that would have happened.
Let me clarify one point. So, and part of it is that I just looked up the definition of entropy that I was using was the second one versus the first one. So here's the point is that the destiny that that people point to, I do believe that there is a course that life follows, and it will follow you just by living in action leads to entropy, and the entropy is a gradual decline into disorder or lack of order or predictability. And so if you don't establish order, and that's the action part, that's the decision part, then what is left? Disorder. And so, and not only is disorder left, but disorder is the destiny of things that don't have order established to them.
It's like a garden, yeah. If you never tend to your garden, it's going to grow weeds, and
exactly. So to the point of
that's entropy on Earth. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying well, I mean that's
that's
thermodynamics,
that's
bro.
Where we are.
That's physics, bro. No. Entropy is physics, bro. That's thermodynamics.
I know entropy, but continue your point. Actually, go ahead. I was going to say that Myron Golden does a good lesson on entropy. So if he's a cool dude for a bunch of other things, just from a motivational standpoint, but he does a good, I think, like 2-part lesson on entropy. But go ahead.
Is it a book or is it?
He does. I think it's like a YouTube video. Yeah, okay. He's like a sales guy.
Shout him out. Oh, here we shout him out.
I mean, you might want to cut that out. I'm just bringing it up for the sake of our three conversation.
We're going to shout it out, man. We're going to shout it out.
Because I didn't really give him a shout out. I was mostly just like, it was a good video just to watch. I'm not shouting out him or his entire platform or anything like that.
You talking about some wild shit after that video.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no qualms against him. But go ahead, man. Yeah, entropy.
No, I just say that if we as people of men who are trying to make quote unquote the world better if we leave the world to its own device, I mean, this is the main reason we've even had this conversation about. If we leave the world as it is, it breaks down. Entropy sets in. The institutions fall apart. The lessons get lost, right? So the destiny of anything created, or the destiny of life, is for them to break down and fall apart. So the key is and why do I say the importance of making the decision or making the action, whatever that is because it keeps the entropy away. It fights the decay. It fights the disorder that is ultimately coming. And so, I mean, we think about, like, yes, your son holding the door for a lady that's not destiny. That's you establishing order in that young man's life, and that order being carried out. Like, the decision was made, and then what carries out from that is what was built is now able to be a countervailing force to the destiny of life, is what I'm trying to say. So maybe it's destiny with
extra steps,
with a few decisions. I mean, because I do understand what you're saying.
It feels the same. I think it's because it definitely feels the same. No matter which you prescribe to, the experience is exactly the same. No matter which one of those is true.
No. The experience isn't the same, because if you don't do anything,
right,
what is left is decay and disorder.
Well, what I'm saying is the doing something. So in the scenario I'm talking about, I wouldn't not do something. So
you would, but that's the crux that we're saying. If without you making the decision to do something, you're not doing anything.
Correct.
And
that's
so
not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is me doing something, or whatever the thing I did that then instilled that into my son, and he's doing this thing now, right? The thing that he's doing, you can say, oh, well, he's doing that because his dad, it's what we talked about. You can follow it back. But I'm saying the experience is still him fighting entropy by doing that thing. It's still me fighting entropy by teaching him whatever it is I taught him or whatever. What I'm saying is, go ahead.
But you had the decision.
There we go.
Pass it on.
There we go.
You had the decision to.
Correct.
You had the decision to either.
Correct.
To either.
I agree. What I'm saying is
re-up the institution or keep it.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, if you knew the lessons I learned in life and what I did, you would know that it was a no-brainer. I was always going to teach him that. There was not a way that I could not teach him that with how I was raised, what I had been through. Now, again, it still looks like I'm just making the decision to teach him something. But the reason why I'm doing that, there are reasons for that. And what you're saying is I could also not tell him. Because I had to make that decision to not tell him.
You had to make the choice.
Correct.
Right? You had to create the space to teach him.
But is it possible that because of what I went through, I could only make that choice? I know it seems like I could make, meaning this, I could choke my wife out right now. I could do that, right?
No, not Sonny.
But knowing me, knowing Sonny, knowing our relationship, that's not something that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the bridge between what you guys are saying is more so from a probabilistic standpoint.
Correct.
Like what
100%.
Joseph's saying is like, hey, because of how I was raised, I had a bunch of examples of someone showing me chivalry and how to, do this and be respectful, so on and so forth. And therefore, it's highly probable that I would teach my son that. Joseph's saying that from an absolute standpoint. He's saying, okay, yeah, because of my background, I had no choice but to teach my kid that. And so it isn't what Jermaine is saying. So I think to bridge the gap of what you're talking about is, yes, it's highly probable, Joseph, that you would teach her, but you still have to make the decision to do it. You're saying that because you make the choice, it's not a choice. Well, you can't. You're Joseph. What you're telling, what I'm hearing you say rather, is choices we make. There are reasons for making the choice, and therefore it's not a choice. Well, I don't think the fact that there are reasons, how probabilistic they are, negates the fact that you still make a choice.
Choice.
if you want to argue if you have a choice or not, that's a different argument. That's more of an argument around options. What options do you have available to you? What information do you have available? That's a totally different argument.
Because I do agree with both of y'all on that point of
make a choice.
I had
how
to
is it
make
not a
the
decision
choice,
though?
right?
How is it not a decision though? That's what I think that's part of what you need to answer.
Okay, so let me do it this way,
argument.
right? It definitely is a decision I'm making.
Okay, so that's Jermaine's argument, though.
Right. To me, it's a high probability, right? But I'm saying, let's say there's some sort of weird fifth dimensional creature that can see every experience you've ever had your whole life.
Okay.
To that creature,
okay,
there was 100% probability of the way I will act. I'm saying the experience
maybe.
is that, yes, I'm making the decision.
But his view in your example is based on, you're saying your history?
It's based on my everything. It's based on my history
and your future.
It's based on my child's history. It's based on every single experience that's happening, everything they've seen that day. What I'm saying is, with enough information about the situation, he could 100% correctly predict what I was going to do. I don't have that information. I could make guesses, like me teaching my son to fish, right? Now, I fished a lot growing up. I like it a lot. I go on fishing trips with my brothers. Y'all could make the guess that Joe's probably going to teach his son how to fish, man. He really likes it. And it will be a good guess. Hey, I did do it. I made that decision to do it. Now, what I'm saying is, because there was a chance that I could not make that decision, right? I don't know that I believe that because of the things that I experienced. I think that there was not going to be a situation where I wasn't going to teach my son how to fish.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so let's take you as a father, right? Let's take how you are as a father. The way I hear you saying that is, it's someone could easily predict how you would be as a father based on how your dad was a father, his dad, and any other influence that came with the right information. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. But if you were thinking probabilistically and statistically, which you have to, that's a Ceteris Paribus situation. That's all other situations being equal, because say, for example, we about to hit AI. Nobody knows, some people say this about AI, but it's a whole new thing. Nobody knew how people are going to act during the pandemic. There are probably social scientists that say, well, probably this may happen during the pandemic and people will start to freak out. And you might have psychologists in there saying, okay, well, we have our view on what people will do. So and then a bunch of different perspectives, because that was a whole nother event. And so, but what I hear you saying is the decisions that were made during that time were not of free will decisions, or they just weren't decisions at all. Because what Jermaine is saying is, yeah, the pandemic happened and people lost their job. You had a choice to either go do this. You had a choice to leave the country if you wanted to. Maybe you did have a choice. Maybe you didn't have a choice because it wasn't an option. Just like Hurricane Katrina, some people stayed, some people left, but the people that stayed, they didn't have the option to leave. So it wasn't really a decision made for them. So maybe that's what Joseph is arguing. It's like depending on the situations. I'm still not hearing where both of you guys are arguing the same thing.
So you realize that in my situation, I'm talking about magic, right? Like I'm not talking about something that is obtainable by a human at all. I'm talking about magic. Okay, maybe I should ask this question. Do you think that there is an amount of information that could exist that can 100% predict behavior?
Human behavior?
No. Yes. Like, do you think that there is an amount of do you think that there is some sort of information that could be accumulated, whether that's somehow being able to know every experience they have, every feeling they've ever had about something? Like,
not at 100% accuracy.
Why not?
And I think that if you could answer it, you would have the understanding of consciousness. Like
I agree with that too, but I'm saying, why don't you think that there is an amount of information that could predict that?
So say, maybe give me an example, because I can think of high level examples. So for example, if you're talking human behavior, and you're talking about something fearful, or you're talking about something like monkey brain, reptile brain, those types of things can be predicted.
I mean, very nuanced things. But I'm saying, okay,
so if I walk
in the
into
same
a
way,
Burger
so
King,
the simple version, right, is the same thing as the pool table, right?
okay.
Where it's like, give me the velocity, give me the amount of friction, give me all of there's way less information I need to know about the pool table to know where all those balls are going to go.
Because that's all mathematical.
Correct.
Okay.
So
putting a human through a mathematical framework, yes, you could predict. But if you putting a human through a mathematical framework, yes, you could. But can you put a human through a mathematical framework?
No, which is why our experience feels yes, that is certain what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying right there. What you just said there, dude, is can you put a human through it? The answer is no. We can't do that. We can't do that.
So you're saying, can a human consume?
No, not a human. That's what I mean. I don't think that, I'm not trying to understand it. I don't think that I can understand it. What I mean is like, if there was a way that I could have that information, could I predict? And if the answer is yes, what I'm saying is then everything is unfolding the only way it can, but still to us, because my conscious experience is not with that information, it does feel like I'm making that decision. And I believe I am. It's just, again, if we were able to have all the information and magically put us through a mathematical equation, could we figure it out? If the answer is yes, then that's where the quote illusion of free will is. But the end be all though is it still feels the same, so it doesn't really matter. That's why it's just a philosophical question, because it doesn't matter at all. It still feels the same to me. Still feels like I'm making a decision.
Well, we're gonna leave that one on the table right there.
I want y'all to
we're gonna leave it on the table, bro.
Because I feel like we're at the same place.
I know we've lost half of the people out there.
That's a good that's a good topic.
I do understand what you're saying as far as I get your paradigm that you're debating, but we're gonna leave that to the science.
It shifted a little bit, because remember, it started when I said Big Bang, everything rolled out exactly as it should. That's how that started. Just so we know, all right.
I understand that.
It got a little squirrely in there, but I still think all the points are valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still think I feel like we're all talking about the same thing.
Well, if we still have audience members out there who listen to our
you tell us your thoughts on
today. Tell us your thoughts on free will and destiny.
Yeah, we'll see if it was destined that they wrote some stuff, man.
So some church announcements. We just wrap up. So this is our last introduction podcast that we're going to put out for us today. After this, we're going to dive right into relationships. I think our next episode is love and money. So we're going to get into relationships for the next couple of weeks. We have a licensed professional therapist coming on with us, Dr. Todd. Mr. Todd.
Shout out.
He's a licensed professional therapist out of the Carolinas. And he is going to come with us and sit with us and kind of talk to us about therapy and mental health. And he's out of Huntsville, North Carolina. That's what it is. Yeah. And he's going to sit with us and talk to us about therapy and any questions that we may have. If anybody wants to come on, and if anybody wants to ask questions to the therapist, and we submit it to uncle at unctalkpod.com. Ooh,
talking's hard, brother. I know it.
We will ask our questions to the good Mr. Todd, and I know he'll be great to have. I just had a pre-call with him. He's going to be awesome to sit with us. So we'll do relationships over a couple of weeks. We'll take a break, and then we'll jump back into whatever we're going to jump back into, brothers.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And until then, I'm Jermaine.
Joe from work.
JMT.
All right. I love you guys. And
all love, brothers.
Peace.
Love y'all.
you.